Today we're gathering around the campfire with Ambika, a QHS member whose life is as exciting and grounding as a hike through the mountains. But what trails did she tread to reach these heights? Let's trek into the wilderness and discover the adventures that led Ambika to where she is today.
Hello, my name is Ambika, and I'm going to read for you my experience of before I came to QHS. And I have titled my presentation, Remembering the Wilderness of Bygone Days, Stirring the Wilderness of Joyful Becoming. So, I am the firstborn on both sides of the family. Naturally, my arrival stirred much delight in my parents, my grandparents. I also knew my great-grandparents. There is longevity in my lineage, and also very rough times. Imagine your home and country broken by political machinations and millions deliberately killed to satiate the ego of godless hypocrites who dissembled as holy men. My maternal grandfather served as engineer in World War II, retired as colonel, and my paternal grandfather was a civilian engineer. Both my parents were children of the horrific, cruel partition. The uncertainty, loss, and pain of those times were etched in their ways. Resilience, strength, innocence, moving forward. Even in being uprooted, losing homes, businesses, property, everything our ancestors experienced shapes us. And when you are the first child, you inherit it all. The sensibility, the passion, capacity of struggle. Sometime you have to learn to create your path, your way into fulfillment, and this comes later in life. When I was born, word went around the then small town, a cantonment, aka military base. Go see the Talwar baby, her eyes see the whole world. I was born naturally seeing the whole world, no doubt a blessing, for one sees the world in very special ways. I also inherited being the responsible one. This means you are given tasks others are not, caring for everyone, being called on for errands, fetching things, ironing clothes. Everything comes with a price, but every path is one of and for guidance. As I grew up, I had a history of outlandish illnesses. Between ages 5 to 6 perhaps, I had typhoid fever, later German measles. I don't know how they got there. I am the most sensitive one in this family. Around age 9 or so, when I got my new teeth, the lower right incisor number 26 grew inward, crooked. Captain Lozado, the dentist, pulled it out. I won't ever forget his name. That went on to me getting sciatic pain, for which they gave me vitamin B12 injections, and those hurt. And no one knew the connection then. My CNS was weakened at that tender age, as losing tooth 26 affected my jaw and spinal well-being. Soon after, at 9-ish, I got chickenpox. From school, perhaps. My mother, who was pregnant with her third kid, got it from me. Then in my early teens, jaundice showed, liver blues. Sensitive to some food or the other, we had moved again. In army life, family is the first casualty. It must be for all these reasons that I became curious and interested in health and wellness. So I was in high school. We had at that time correspondence courses. Now we have everything on the internet. So I enrolled in one. In college, I signed up for the St. John's ambulance course, learning first aid so I could offer assistance to one who needed it. During my school years, I loved geometry, languages, art, but did not have a penchant for algebra. I scored high marks in all subjects and would come first in class. I was a very serious student, as you can tell. Sadly, no one paid attention. Here is another thing about being the oldest. You have to do it all very well and be responsible. good lessons, for we each have different paths in life. It is interesting to traverse such moments and know life is to be remembered, to be cherished. Rough moments find a new resonance, for everything we do or not do has been a guide. I do not want to ever forget a moment of my life. So at age 19 or 20, we visited my grandmother for the 11th month prayers for my grandfather, who had passed in the previous year. After the prayers, I was racked with pain so intense, any movement or sound would stir in me horrid spasms. I could not move. Since it coincided with my menses, the family thought that was the reason. Nope. The next day, we were at the Pune Military Hospital. I had to have an emergency operation for a burst appendix. I was in hospital for a month to clear the infection. Later, I needed sound therapy to strengthen the wound. So with a weakened CNS and all these things, life moved on. Few years later, after college and MA in English, I arrived here to meet a relative. It turned out not so great, and I left to pursue my path of ups and downs, of wonder and new recognitions. Again, on my own, I worked as editor at a local newspaper in Whittier, California. Then a part-time teaching job led finally to a full-time teaching career, 31 years teaching English comp and sometimes literature, film, etc. But the environment at the college was not inspiring or intellectually interesting. The system, which should have been expansive, getting students to think out of the box, was not and did not, but I had to. Only way I could teach was with creative inspiration. Hence, I had my students create projects and write and imagine. I had chronic fatigue from almost the second or third year of teaching, and it has never quite left. I still have it and learned recently it is an autoimmune thing. However, I think series of imbalances results in a kind of fatigue, which this probably is. Yet my creative edge had to be fulfilled even as I taught. So in 2000, I made a short film of 29 minutes and 44 seconds, which won the Best Original Story Award in Belgium. And as always, my poetry continues. I have to recall this line by John Keats, the English poet: "Beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all you know on earth and all you need to know." That is how we weave our lives, come what may. In 2006, I was in a car wreck. Concussion. It wasn't only that my spine was already damaged now, just a little bit more. 4 years later and several head injuries over the next 4 years, oh my, it was no fun at all. I kept teaching, of course, I had to. From about 10 years ago, I've lost a lot of hair. That missing tooth from age 9-ish had already caused a slight misalignment. And then these incursions into my body, mind, and spirit slowly worsened it. So much so that now the right side of my facial bones have moved more to the right. And this is not a political statement, but it is uncomfortable because it's affecting my whole right side. The sciatica has worsened. I must also add that the 2006 car wreck led me to study with Kung Fu Grandmaster Kam Yuen, whose process, woven with other holistic teachings, led me to create my intuition energetics, and many have experienced it with great joy, and I'm grateful for that too. I am allergic to smells, fragrances. I'm super sensitive to noise and sounds and some kinds of loud voices, those TV newscasters. My soul is good. I enjoy serenity. I cannot hang around and chit-chat in superficial ways. I seek profound ways that speak to me. My soul and I are in mutual adoration and witness to what the world endures and enjoys. I do not want to ever forget my difficult experiences, for these teach us and have taught me to transmute our being into the desired vision unfolding. And I think this is what I was put here for. Such lessons make us whole. And as Tagore writes, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. And this is what I think we are all participating in. Anyway, needless to say, it has been a bizarre time. Through all this, I recall with immense gratitude my father's wishes that I do something valuable in life. And I just quoted Tagore. He and I, my father and I, shared a resonance. Tragic how little we saw of each other. I really get my poetry genes from him. He was a poet, while he was also a military officer, and a damn good one at that. The gifting of something meaningful to the world and simplicity in many ways come from him. And I'm very proud and also sad that I don't get to see him anymore. So what I look for from all the healing we are doing and must continue to do is this, that my art, poetry, and healing, creative wisdom, indeed, are my challenges and gifts to the world, and more to come. May it not ever end. I wish 26 return, my body be aligned, my spine and nervous system be happy. I wish to dance, travel, let my hair be wild when it grows back, and build certain systems on the way forward. So I can look back at every drop of rain and say, thank you again. It's great to be in a lull of meditation and forget the world, then awaken with glow of smile. Where secrets linger for all that is sacred is here and arriving. And I close with the ancient greeting, Namaste, which means the divine in me bows to the divine in you. And so thank you all very much for being part of my growth and allowing me to be a part of yours as we are in the midst of great global shifts right now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Join us on the Prequel, where every story matters and every voice is heard. Because here at QHS, we're all about healing, learning, and growing together.